This video is specific to John chapter 9 because today, October 13th, I was reading John chapter 9 and 10. And it's interesting. I mean, the entire Bible's interesting, but when you read it with a different perspective, it becomes more illuminating. This video is going to make a claim that a lot of people aren't willing to tolerate. The people you think in charge aren't actually in charge. And you can be someone who's never read the Bible and believe in Christ more than someone who knows the Bible. That's the outrageous claim that I'm going to make. And I don't care who wants to say what about me, because I'm going to explain it. And if you stay to listen to this story, I think you're someone I'd love to get to know more. In John chapter 9, it's interesting for me to see that one chapter of the Bible is dedicated solely to one miracle. And not just that, but later in John chapter 10, the first half of John chapter 10 is dedicated specifically to what happened in John 9. Now, later on, of course, John chapter 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 are supposed to be read in one straight shot, or I believe it's 15, 16, and 17, something like that. One sequence of some of the teens of John are meant to be read in a sequence. And that's true because most of the Bible didn't have chapters and verses. For those of you that are chapter and verse people and love to quote one verse at a time, the Bible wasn't written with chapters and verses. So that's something else you need to know. Now, in John chapter 9, we see a blind man who gets healed, right? Or delivered from blindness. Now, the first interesting thing that struck out to me was within the first 5 verses, the disciples are the ones that ask Jesus, according to the legalistic mindset that they still had because of the scriptures. They ask Jesus, who sinned, him or his father, that he is blind? And Jesus says, neither. Sometimes the biggest thing that you're struggling with isn't because of your sin. It's so that the glory of God can be revealed through you, and so that you can experience the glory of God. The NIV and the NLT, I believe, and the KJV will always say, so that the glory of God could be revealed through him, right? The Passion Translation says, so that he could experience God's miracle. And both of those are equally true. That's the beautiful part about this. Both of those things are equally true. And that's why a lot of you struggle with something. You all struggle with blindness spiritually. You guys struggle with being blinded to the point that you don't see God in a certain situation or experience in your life because you don't think you can see him, and you're so blinded by a devastating situation or depression or whatever it may be. You're struggling with, let's say, lust or robbery or some or the other sin, right? Gluttony, whatever you may be struggling with. You guys are blinded by that and you think it's because of your sin, but actually it's for God to reveal his glory through you, so he can show other people, and so that you can be a testament to his glory and his miracle through you. Now, so the interesting thing is that Jesus heals the guy, right? Famous story. He makes clay out of dirt and wipes the guy's, puts it on, makes a paste, puts it on his eyes, and then tells him to go wash it at the pool. And the pool has a specific meaning too. I'll let you guys research that for yourself. Can't be telling you everything without you doing a bit of your own legwork. After all that happens, this guy meets a lot of people, and a lot of people can't seem to recognize him because now he can see. See, he was born blind. So a lot of people associated him with his blindness. A lot of people will associate you with what you struggle with. So when you are healed, they won't be able to recognize you. They'll be like, wait, are you sure? Are you sure that's you? And he keeps telling them, I am that blind man. They say he looks like him, he speaks like him, but I don't think he's him because he used to be blind. So a lot of people in disbelief won't be able to believe that you are truly you, but it's the true version of you. It's the version of you that should have been all along, the person that can actually see. Now, later on, as we go throughout, this guy ends up meeting the Pharisees. And the interesting thing about this is that when he meets the Pharisees start questioning him about who healed him and how all of this came to be. And when that happens, they start maiming him and mocking him and insulting him, saying, "We know Moses, we believe in Moses." And that's another issue for itself, because when you talk about knowing Moses and this, that, and the other, you create such a big problem for yourself because you're talking about a legalistic mindset. Jesus was using the same law against the Pharisees, because here's the interesting thing. You know why Jesus calls them or says to them, "You are of your father, the devil"? Because Satan twists scriptures, right? And they were trying to get Jesus, they were twisting scriptures and twisting their own questions for their own agendas, just like Satan would have.